Alhamdulillah, the orphanage is finally open.
Come meet our newest children in Africa.
A blonde woman stands among smiling children, holding lollipops. A foundation banner hangs behind them. She announces that a new orphanage has opened in Africa.
Look, they are laughing, singing, dancing, playing together. Kids finally allowed to be kids.
But the evidence collected during an ABC investigation suggests that the woman in the video isn't real. Neither are the children or the banner behind them. The scene appears to have been generated using artificial intelligence. Millions of people have watched an Australian influencer promise food, shelter, and hope to children in some of the world's most critical crisis zones. Now, her foundation is facing questions about its humanitarian claims, the money it solicited, and the damage AI-generated appeals could do to public trust in charities. I'm Daniel James, and you're listening to 7am. Today, ABC News verified journalist Matt Martino on the Lily J Foundation and the tangled web behind its humanitarian work. It's Thursday, July 23. Matt, to begin with, tell me how you came across this story.
So there's an old adage in journalism that the length of a tip is inverse to its usefulness to you, and that really came up in this story. We received a 4-word tip about Lily J, totally anonymous, no link. And so we just, Googled her and looked into it and came across her Instagram and her foundation.
Come with me to visit the orphans today. Assalamu alaikum. Today we gave new shoes, clothes, learning materials and sweets to the children.
And the thing that really struck me to begin with was this foundation had only really been set up in sort of August last year, but it was claiming to do all this work in places like Gaza, Uganda, Nepal, Philippines, Sudan, building mosques and establishing orphanages and bakeries, a bakery in Gaza.
Lily J, it's actually open.
What? It's open. Are you serious?
Alhamdulillah. Marhaban bikum fi Paris Maraqsa. Assalamu alaikum.
What we do at ABC News Verify is verification journalism. So we sort of test whether content we find on social media all the time matches up with reality. And AI is a big part of that. So we started to find a lot of inconsistencies with reality on the content that Lily J was producing.
Who is Lily J? What can you tell us about her?
So Lily J is an Australian influencer. She's from Queensland. She's documented her conversion to Islam on social media, and she's garnered quite a large following through hot takes about Islam, promoting the religion.
Guys, you will not believe what just happened to me at the mosque today. Today's Friday. Happy Jummah, everyone. I just went to the mosque and I sat after Jummah with my Quran, and I opened the Quran at a random page. I love doing this when I'm just need a little bit of guidance from Allah or something. And you will not
Her main account has a history which goes back to 2012. So we know a bit about her. We've seen pictures of quite a lavish lifestyle of high-end jewelry and vacations and luxury locations. We do know that at one point she was a singer. We know that she was also at one point an aspiring actress. So she's worn a few hats, we would say, before turning towards being an Instagram influencer and ostensible humanitarian. And she's then sort of used that following that she's built where she solicits donations from the public.
And so you get the tip off and you start looking at these videos and posts. What was the first sign to you that some of it might have been fake?
So there were a few videos, but one really jumped out of me of an orphanage in Uganda that Lily J claimed that she had established. So at the beginning of this video, Lily J appears sort of surrounded by African children in front of this sort of orange building. In the background, there's a banner that says Lily J Foundation. And underneath that banner is a window. She announces that the orphanage is open, and then it cuts to another shot of exactly the same location. But in that shot, the window has actually moved and the banner is gone.
Did you know there is over 150 million orphan children in the world right now? Our goal is to help.
And then looking through the rest of the video, we discovered more instances of things that look like they could be AI. So at one point on a worker's T-shirt, on the back of his T-shirt, an extra L starts to appear and sort of meld and disappear in the Lily J Foundation name.
Nothing. We bought them new shoes, we washed them, gave them new clothes.
Everything a child needs to grow up in a...
And at another point, there's a shot of a child wearing a Lily J Foundation T-shirt, but the Lily J Foundation logo is upside down.
This is only just the beginning. Inshallah, together we can make a bigger difference.
So these are all things that indicate that perhaps AI has been involved because they look like the typical errors that AI would make.
So you see these images that appear to have either been generated or manipulated. Which of the foundation's claims were you simply unable to independently verify on top of that?
So the Ugandan orphanage, yes. We contacted the Ugandan government, who confirmed to us that there was no orphanage registered under Ada Nur, the name that Lily J had given to it, or her foundation, the Lily J Foundation. We also contacted other aid organisations in the region, and they hadn't heard of Lily J or this orphanage either. In Gaza, the bakery that she claimed to establish, we were unable to geolocate that bakery. We contacted aid groups there as well who hadn't heard of it either. Gaza's not a huge place and there's not a huge quantity of aid organisations in there. Someone somewhere would have heard of a bakery that's feeding a vast quantity of children every day, but we were unable to find any evidence of it at all.
The foundation wasn't just posting about its humanitarian work, it was also asking for donations to support it. What do we know about how much money it was getting and where that money was going?
It's really difficult to quantify how much money might have been donated to the foundation. What we do know is that Lily J has a very large following, but not only that, she gets a lot of engagement from what appear to be genuine Muslims on her account. They post messages of support. They talk about how they've donated, and some of them sort of send comments saying, "Oh, I haven't got my proof of donation yet. Are you going to send it?" Or they talk about how they got the proof of the donation. So putting a dollar figure on it is really difficult, but I think it's safe to say that a substantial number of people have donated. It wouldn't be chump change. The curious thing about it is that on her website, the foundation actually admits that it is not a registered charity.
So what does that mean?
So the foundation is registered in Australia as a corporation. It has directors, but it's not registered with the Australian Charities and Not-for-Profits Commission. That's the government regulator in Australia which oversees charities. They're accountable to the regulator. They have to supply transparent reports to them about where the money is going, and if there's any wrongdoing, the regulator can intervene. It means also that if you donate to this foundation, you can't tax deduct your donation. So there's not a lot of transparency here. We're not able, it's a very young foundation, but we're not able to look into its reports. No one is. It's not accountable to the government when people donate to it. There's no paper trail for where the money is actually going. And that's something that I think is really important when you're dealing with other people's money, to be really accountable about how you're spending it.
Still to come, what established humanitarian groups say about the Lily J Foundation. Matt, as you've looked further into the foundation, what have you been able to find out about the woman whose name it uses, Lily J? Does her name appear anywhere in the foundation's corporate records?
Lily J's name does not appear anywhere in the corporate records in Australia. There's 3 directors on those corporate records. I did manage to speak to one of those directors, a Syed Mohsen. He confirmed that he was a director of the foundation, but then he told me that it was very busy where he was at that point and that he would call me back, and hung up the phone, and then he didn't respond to any further inquiries. After we spoke to Syed Mohsen and put in inquiries with the Lily J Foundation, things started to disappear. A lot of the content from the website started to disappear, and the donations domain taken off the page and replaced with a statement about how the aid was still continuing and to follow for updates. Additionally, another website which Lily J was involved in, Real Media Group, which had announced that Lily J had won a humanitarian award, that website also went dark after we inquired about it.
Since publishing the investigation, Lily J has responded publicly. Tell me about what she said.
So Lily J has responded since we published our reporting over a couple of very long YouTube videos.
What you guys don't understand is that this is a carefully orchestrated attack against me. Let me tell you the facts first, and then you can decide. I'm gobsmacked. I don't even know what to say to this allegation.
She denied that the orphanage was fake, and she says that the bakery itself, that she never said she opened a bakery, that she was always just working with partners on the ground, and that the bakery was now inaccessible, and those partners had moved to another part of Gaza, and she's still working with them.
And now we are operating here, distributing bread to the people of Gaza. And no, we won't be telling you the location of this bakery. We will not be telling you the location of this bakery. We do not want it attacked again like the first bakery.
She claimed to call some of the organisations or some of the initiatives that she had established live.
Your camera frozen. Oh, here we go. Assalamu alaikum. Hi. Alaikum salam. How are you?
It's not clear what time of day these really actually occurred, or whether they are genuine or staged or anything like that.
What are we giving today? What are you giving today to the children? Yeah, that looks great. Very nice.
She says that AI was used in her content.
Short promotional content contained small elements of AI created by our marketing team. It was never, ever meant to substitute any real aid going on. If a video has me in the beginning of the video, it gets 1 million views. If it doesn't, it gets like 10,000 views. It's just a simple way to get more awareness out there.
That might be a reasonable explanation if it were true, but it's demonstrably false. There is AI all throughout the duration of some of the videos that we have investigated. But what is really conspicuously absent is an explanation for the award that they announced on the website that Lily J had won. This award doesn't exist outside of Lily J's platforms. The images are AI. You put them through OpenAI's Synth ID detector, which is an imperceptible watermark that OpenAI adds to its content, and it comes up as positive for being generated by OpenAI's tools. So they are unequivocally AI. She has not offered an explanation as to why she needed to generate AI images and give herself a fake award. If you've got genuine humanitarian credentials, then the question is, why do you feel the need to present yourself that way with a fake award? That's something that she still hasn't addressed, and I think her donors really need answers on that, because if she is resorting to that kind of fakery, then it casts a pall over any humanitarian work that she claims that she might have done.
You've spoken to established humanitarian groups who have delivered aid in some of these areas for a long time. What do they say all about all this?
So the Red Crescent told us that, generally speaking, it had noticed a bit of a proliferation in unverified charities operating in recent years. We also spoke to Tim Costello, who's the former CEO of World Vision. He basically said that if your charity isn't registered with the Australian Charities and Not-for-Profit Commission, do not donate.
And of those other aid charities that you've spoken to, those humanitarian groups, how worried are they about AI and its usage and making this potentially a broader problem for them and for the charitable sector more broadly?
Well, the thing about charities and stories like this is that when they come out, it makes people think twice about donating. And so the worry is that, with the proliferation of AI, there would be a degradation of trust, and that would flow through to people not wanting to give their money to aid organisations. It's incredibly important that people continue to donate, because that work that they are doing, the genuine humanitarian work, is so important. It saves lives and it improves lives. And so it is a diabolical problem when it is so easy to manipulate and fake genuine aid on the internet. It's a problem that's probably only going to continue to get worse as these tools become much easier to operate for people.
Well, Matt, thanks for your work on this. It's fascinating stuff, and thanks for coming on 7am.
Thanks for having me on.
7am did approach the LJ for comment on the claims that have been made. We didn't receive a response. Also in the news, Iranian state television has announced air defences are being activated in the capital Tehran, following the 11th straight night of US attacks on the country. It comes as US President Donald Trump stated he has, quote, no interest in talks with Iran at this stage. He suggested that the US could soon target a suspected uranium enrichment site, while also stating US intelligence sees no activity at the facility. And a nationwide test of a national emergency warning system will go ahead next week, despite concerns about the extent of its coverage. The test of the new Oz Alert system, which sends a 10-second alarm to compatible mobile phones in an area impacted by an emergency, will be carried out on Monday before it goes live in October. But state and territory leaders have raised concerns that the alert won't work on some older models of mobile phones or reach Australians in remote parts of the country. I'm Daniel James. Thank you for listening to 7am. We'll be back tomorrow.